anything you want to talk about to open up the show?
We're living at my brother's.
Yeah. I've never been a little brother. I'm the oldest in my family.
You are
It's just
now.
my brother and I. It's the first time I've ever been a little brother. I don't think I'm very good at it. I try to be good. I try and clean up after myself. It's really hard. I'm not great at that. It's not in my wheelhouse.
Nope, it is not. And my brother and sister-in-law are extremely clean.
Mm-hmm.
Like they use a cup and they wash the cup and they put the cup away.
And they don't curse nearly as much as you do.
No, they do not.
It's like they leave to go golfing and all of a sudden a truck driver moved in.
Not every day.
I'll be on my Zooms and I'll hear.
And who am I saying that to?
Whoever you're talking to. Could be good spirits. Oh my God.
It is. They have been so generous and welcoming, opening up their home to us, their refrigerator, their pantry, their bedrooms, everything.
Well,
you took
singular.
over. You took.
There's only one bedroom.
I know, but you did take over their office.
I did take over the office.
Okay, so there's the S.
Okay. I'm just the way you said that was like we put them on the couch or something.
No, we have a bedroom and a den that we've taken over. We're podcasting right now in their office.
Mm-hmm.
They left.
They left because they didn't want to bother us while we were recording in their house.
It is weird living here. But in a good way. Like it's weird in that like they haven't gotten annoyed with me yet. I cannot believe they have not gotten annoyed with me yet because I'm a brat and I know I'm annoying.
I think they're probably annoyed with you.
They're just not telling me.
So let's talk about it before we really get into like how we've put them out of their space. Why don't we rewind a little bit to last week and talk about the first day ever we were landlords.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Hey listeners, ever wonder what it would be like to sell everything and travel the country at the tender age of 50? Well, with our last kid off to college and the ability to now work remotely, we've decided to do just that. So we're selling the house, loading up the dog, and hitting every city from California to Florida. We're scouring the country for a new place to call home and dragging you into every restaurant, Airbnb, and tourist trap we encounter along the way. This is the Skiptown All-Stars podcast. Welcome back, All-Stars.
We're back. We are recording our first episode in like over a month.
I know, it feels good. I'm really happy to be doing this.
It was a nice holiday break. Hope yours was great. All that shit's over now. Everybody's back to work.
It is back to work. Here we go.
Yep. So when you last caught up to us, we were heading out to Los Angeles. For those of you who are joining us recently, you know we were on the Wife of the Party podcast with Leanne Kreischer. You also know we recorded an extra episode. Who crashed?
Bert Kreischer crashed.
Yep. And so those were very fun episodes, a very long day for Leanne, I feel probably, because she was with us she had 5 hours of the Gordons that day.
That's just too much of the Gordons.
God bless her. She really is a saint. And so the holidays were great. We had a good time, saw the kids, saw all three of the kids.
We did. All three of them managed to be together, albeit the oldest was only with us for 3 days. But it was a great 3 days, and we celebrated our Christmas on the 21st with her, and then had another Christmas on the 25th with some friends and, you know, our other two daughters who stayed with us.
Yes. So we celebrated on Armenian Christmas. Is the 21st of December Armenian Christmas?
No. I think Armenian Christmas is the same as Ukrainian Christmas, which is the 6th.
Which was just a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got it. You know what? Just keep your Slavic and all that like to yourself over there. You know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Let's talk about real quick, LA, the return to LA. How'd you do?
I probably won't be back for a while. And
okay.
I love that city because I lived there for 25 years, but I had enough and I felt like the return was too soon. I hadn't missed it.
You hadn't had time to miss it?
Not at all. Look, I did everything I wanted to do living in Los Angeles. I mean, I took full advantage of it. I made the most of the West Side and made the most of downtown. I really explored the Valley. I know LA pretty well. I've been to several concerts, sporting events. So there's nothing that I feel like I didn't get out of Los Angeles. I'm a food person, so I've visited all the restaurants I've ever wanted to visit in my life there. I'm good.
You're good.
What about you? What about you?
I had a great time, except for when I was working, and except for that part where we had head colds for 5 days straight. But it was good. At least at the beginning of the trip, I got to see like the majority of our friends. There are 3 or 4 people that we missed that, I'll probably at some point go back. It sounds like without you to go see.
Probably.
But there are a handful of people I would love to interview on the show in Los Angeles. So we're going to get to that, I guess, later this year.
Well, we had to come back. So the girls stayed until January 3rd, but we could not stay until January 3rd because we actually have a renter coming into the house that we purchased next to my brother.
Yeah.
So when we purchased this house, or let's be clear, when my brother and sister-in-law purchased the house for us in the beginning of 2022, my sister-in-law called me shortly after the house was in escrow and said, hey, because we honestly didn't know, what we were going to be doing with this house. We just knew that it was next to my brother. It was available. We were going to buy it. We hadn't even talked about moving from Los Angeles at that point. But she said, hey, since you probably won't be moving in the house anytime soon, we have a renter for you. She wants to come in January and February of 2023. How do you feel about that? Well, we were great. We're like, wow, we live in LA. We bought an income property in Florida and we already have a renter. And then she called and said, I have another renter for you in March of 2023. What do you think about that? We're like, great. Let's try to go to June if possible.
Yep.
And so all of that to say, we could not stay in Los Angeles with the girls until January 3rd because, well, we had to come back and make sure the house was picture perfect for our renter come January 1st.
And when we left to go to Los Angeles, there were still like power receptacles that weren't covered. There were still many things I had to do, in terms of renovation stuff.
Yeah.
We had gotten through the flooring, we'd gotten through the paint, but there are plenty of hanging chads. You wanted a fan installed, all kinds of stuff that we had to do. Furniture was still arriving, all that stuff. The house was not ready.
Well, it was about 90% done when we came back from LA. We made sure that when we left to go back for Christmas, that the house was like 90% ready. I feel it was.
I'd say 80, but
okay, whatever, 80. So it was 80% ready. So when we got back, I felt like for me, there wasn't a whole lot I needed to do. There was like one piece of furniture that was getting delivered. I needed my brother to install a ceiling fan. And then honestly, I just needed to clean the house and like there was nothing I needed to do. Yes, you're right. We had the house painted. So they took off the switch plates and all that when they painted. And so those need to be put back on.
Replaced. We replaced everything.
Yeah, we did replace those. Right.
Okay.
But
I'm not being argumentative. I'm just saying it was some work.
It was work. But we got back on the 27th. So we had our renter wasn't coming in until the 2nd of January. So we had plenty of time to do this. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
So,
I literally don't know what happened.
So let's just go day by day because as you can tell how this is leading up.
Let's just get to the point.
No. I spent the first 3 days finishing the stuff I needed to do around the house. You were cleaning. Did you start cleaning?
It was like weird. It was like the house is small. So I was cleaning, but I don't know what the heck I was doing.
We still had shit everywhere though, it seemed.
All I know is that it was like a time suck. I can't really explain it. Like something happened, time got away, and our renter showed up.
Yeah. So after those 3 days, I went into the 4th day thinking that that was a day she was going to show up. And you told me she's not going to get here till 5 or something. But then we decided, well, we're going to plan ahead. Like a lot of people wake up early. Like they say, oh, I'm not going to get there till 5. I'm going to go to lunch or whatever. But the night before, a lot of people are like around 11 a.m. They're like, you know what? I'm going to hit it.
Yeah.
So we've done that. And so sure enough, I jumped into a Zoom meeting and then another Zoom meeting. So I was like, all the construction was done. All the renovation was done. My stuff was packed.
So here's the thing is that I want to mention is, not only was the renter coming and that we had to have the house prepared for the renter, but also what was happening was we actually had to pack ourselves for a 2-month trip.
Journey.
Yeah, because we are going to stay in my brother's for a short period of time, but we have plans to travel. We have hit lists that we want to see. So we had to pack for 2 months, just like we did when we left Los Angeles. We had to prepare for a 2-month trip. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the night before our renter is coming in, I'm thinking, okay, well, I already have pretty much my travel bags. Like my toiletries is already set. Like I use that all the time now since we're on the road. I pretty much know what I'm going to bring. It's really like quite simple. How long could it really take? I don't know what happened. I still can't explain it to any single person, but something happened that day and there was a vacuum of time sucked out of it. I had my pajamas on still at noon and James was taking videos, which I'm going to post on Instagram, of the house before as we were cleaning it. And really it was just cleaning because the house was already in order. So there wasn't like, I wasn't moving furniture around. I wasn't hanging pictures, none of that. Like I was just wiping things down, cleaning the floors. My sister-in-law cleaned the kitchen. So I was just handling like everything else.
You could tell by the tone in my videos that I was feeling pretty good at that point.
Oh yeah, you were
like
great.
If you watch those videos, when you see those, they were, a little long-winded, mind you. You guys know me, but naturally, I felt like I was in good shape. All my stuff was in a suitcase. All my gear was packed up. All the podcast gear was packed up.
I don't
Everything
think your
was
stuff
packed
was
up.
in a suitcase.
I was
at that point.
totally in a suitcase. I was in the garage at that point. Like I had 7 bags in the garage.
I was still in my pajamas, so I don't understand.
I'm well aware. And so I sat down at noon to take a Zoom meeting because I'm working for a company on the West Coast. So at their 9:30 a.m., I sit down for a Zoom, and an hour and a half later, I got off the Zoom, or I'm about to get off the Zoom. It's got like 5 minutes left. And all of a sudden I see her with like bug eyes across the room. And I look up and I like give her the head nod, like, what? And she's like, she's on her way.
No,
she's on her way.
No, I did this. I think I did 4, 5.
Oh my God.
That meant 45 minutes. 45 minutes. And
I looked around at that
was
point.
not going to make it.
I had not been paying attention to her. Like I said, I felt good with where I was.
There was still crap everywhere.
No,
that was
there
yours.
If there was crap everywhere, it was crap I hadn't accounted for.
Oh, okay.
I walked into the bedroom after my Zoom meeting and all of your clothes were still hanging in the closet.
It's true.
All of your many, many clothes were still hanging in the closet.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, holy God, like there's no way we're going to get out of here in 45 minutes just cleaning out this closet alone.
Nope. Because, when someone comes to stay in your place, you need to give them a closet where they can hang their clothes.
Turns out they don't want to see all your shit.
Right. So, and not to mention that this closet also has shelves, and on top of the shelves are all my purses, all of my shoes, and then on this top shelf is like my wedding dress, my veil, all my stuff up there. So I had planned on taking all of that out so that when she walked in, even at the very top shelf, I know she couldn't reach it. You have to get a ladder, but I wanted to look pretty for her. No, it did not happen. It did not happen. So
yeah, nothing was pretty in that moment. Nothing was pretty. So,
except for me.
No, you were pretty harrowed at that point. Your hair was all over the place.
It was crazy. I was sweating. So what then had happened was that
here we go.
I started running so I had these go
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I want to talk about what happened what then had happened when I was doing my stuff and what wasn't happening. But anyway, we'll go on. You go on.
I just started running. I literally,
she was running. There was a time.
I had to throw off the Under Armour sandals, like their athletic sandals. I had to kick them off because
you're going to trip,
slowing
and you're
me
going to
down
break another toe
from running because I had to kick them off to run to my brother's house and running back and forth.
There was a time when Denise and I were living in LA, and I knew I had a relative coming to visit, and we were entertaining friends all day on the patio at the pool, having a few drinks, relaxing, whatever. And I just, for whatever in my head, I kept thinking this person was coming the next day. I shouldn't talk about her. I shouldn't talk about her like she's some inanimate, like my Aunt Patty was coming. Aunt Patty, like finally a relative was coming to visit us on the West Coast.
Yep.
And she was going to
Coming on Sunday.
She planned a long layover so she could visit us. She was on her way back with her boyfriend, John. And they
Way
were
back from Hawaii.
on way back from Hawaii. Yeah. And so anyway, my mom texted me and just said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. You get to see my sister tonight." And I turned white as a ghost. And then all of a sudden I came into Denise. I go, oh my God.
No.
And she thought I cut my hand off or something
He
with a
didn't
saw.
even come to me. He was walking around the house going, oh my God. And you made a beeline for the family room. So I thought he cut his hand because he's holding his hand. Like I see him holding his hand, but he's actually holding his phone. So I'm like, oh my God, he cut his hand. So I run up to him like, are you okay? Are you okay? And he looked at me and goes, Aunt Patty's coming tonight. Now, mind you, we had friends over all day. It was like 4th of July weekend or something crazy. Yeah. We were out in the backyard having a good time, not a care in the world. The kitchen was trashed. The bathrooms were trashed because people were in and out. Yeah. Aunt Patty was landing.
No, I said Aunt Patty's going to be here in an hour. Yeah. That's what I said. And I was like, oh my God. And so then I was like, okay, they need a place to sleep. And we had the guest house at that point, but there was no bed set up in it. Remember? There was like, there was no bed. Yeah. Because I went into Parker's room and our oldest daughter, and I took the mattress off of her bed and I was running across the yard with this mattress like Fred Flintstone.
He had it on his back.
I did. And
I stopped him.
I was just I was an Egyptian laborer building a pyramid.
I looked out the sliding glass door and I go, what are you doing? And he
need somewhere to sleep. I was like, you're not giving them our daughter's bed. Like, figure it out. And so, I mean, you had just thought, oh, they'll sleep on a mattress or whatever. And I was like, I don't know what happened. I don't know if I thought they were coming the next day. I forget those fuzzy details on how I forgot. Bottom line was the place was not ready. And I had to drive all the way across Los Angeles to the airport to pick them up. And I had about 20 minutes to give them something to look at when they walked into our house. And that was one of the most manic moments that you always make fun of me for. In the history of us. So
yeah, but here's the thing. That was not a fail. When Aunt Patty showed up with John, the fire pit was going, the house looked pristine, the beds were made. I had a blow-up mattress waiting for them with a beautiful like quilt on it or whatever, like comforter with beautiful fluffed pillows and in the guest house. Like it legitimately looked like we had planned their arrival. Yeah. They never would have known. Everything was perfect. That did not happen. So what I'm saying is, so there's no comparison.
So what this is all leading up to is January 3rd, 2023 was your Aunt Patty moment. You're running around the house. Mm-hmm. She's coming around. She says she's coming in 45 minutes, probably 30 minutes at this point. Your closet's still full. Mm-hmm. There's like heaping piles. I don't know what the hell they were. Blankets, pillows. What the hell was going on the kitchen table?
Oh, the kitchen.
The dining room table.
That was all Goodwill stuff.
I know, like the Goodwill stuff, hun. Seriously, in the middle of that moment, you're worried about.
Well, I wanted to get it out of there.
Poor people being able to buy overpriced items at Goodwill. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. It was not the time of the month. You were cleaning out the pantry that morning. Oh. Instead of worrying about your clothes, you were in there.
Something happened that day. I don't even know what it was. I wasn't myself.
All of a sudden, the baked beans were the most important thing that you had to focus on that day.
Was I take the baked beans or do I leave the baked beans? The baked beans?
You needed adult supervision that day.
Something
and I was not
awry.
able to provide it. From the minute you woke up and you were moving around the house. So I
woke up early too.
Naturally, I just thought, oh, things are getting done.
Yeah, she's got this handled.
Like I'm on a Zoom, but there's like all this pile of towels in front of me. And I was just like, I don't know. I guess there's a plan for this stuff. But
I don't know. My brother said I should have recorded you running back and forth from my house to your house.
Oh, yeah.
He said, why didn't I record this? And I said, I don't know. I said at one point I kicked off my sandals, my Under Armour flip-floppy things because I had to run and they were stopping me from running.
I would say when I saw you scurrying around, like you do this thing with your feet, it's like a little pitter patter where like the heels of your feet aren't touching the ground. It's like you run like a deer.
I do?
A little bit, yeah. When you're freaking out, you do a little bit of like forest animal shit.
Wait.
Like
do
you're
I do this?
like you're scared. Like
do
you're
I do this-
scared.
Do I do this outside?
Do you do it outside?
Yeah,
when you
or is
run?
it just no? Do I do it like
No,
outside?
when you're panicked.
Like even when I'm outside in panic, like you see me do this?
Where have you been outside and panicked? You never go outside, so how can that even be a thing?
All right, so I do this inside.
You do, yes, you do it inside.
Okay.
So anyway, you were doing the pitter patter thing, and I was like, "Holy hell!" So the path that I started making between your brother's house and our house was me trying to get all my shit out of the garage, because I figured if I get all my stuff out of the garage and over to your brother's house, I don't have to face this woman when she shows up. I'll just be over at your brother's house.
Oh, you're trying to hide from me.
I was trying to hide from everybody. I was like, this isn't going to end well. This is bad situation. So, I forget, like you were handing me like bins of like pistachios.
It's our food container.
Yeah. Our food container.
Uh-huh. That's what I handed you. And other stuff. And in the food container was our bills and my makeup kit.
it was so reminiscent of when we had to pack and leave the house in LA.
There was.
Where all of a sudden, like the last 2 days, like 8 people showed up to help us.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you and I were like so behind the ball, and I wasn't like, I didn't wake up that morning feeling that way.
I didn't either.
I'm just saying, maybe, you know,
Something's happened with us.
maybe no, with us.
Yeah, we're a team.
No,
We're a team.
I don't care
Something
about the
happened with
kidney
us.
beans.
No, they were baked beans, not kidney beans. I
don't
would
care.
never think twice about kidney beans.
You
It
gutted
was
that
baked
entire
beans.
pantry.
No, there's still stuff in there.
You could have
There's-
left some artichoke hearts for her. Maybe she would have loved to sprinkle them all over a salad, and you could have focused on getting
I
your
was
wedding
actually-
dress out of the closet.
The wedding dress is still in the closet.
Oh my God.
I was thinking about giving her room in the pantry for her own groceries because she's going to be here for 2 months. So I wasn't necessarily thinking like, I need to get this out of here because I'm not leaving food for this woman. No, I was thinking I want to give her room. And in fact, I still left food in there because I ran out of time.
Yes, you did. So
let's talk about.
Let's talk about 5 minutes before the woman actually showed up. I walk into the closet. You had finally emptied the closet. The bedroom looked nice. Oh, you know what? I think you got a little lost in the master bathroom. That's where you got lost, because it looked amazing when you were done. But there was a span of the day where I didn't really see you, and you were back there.
I think that's where it all went
Mhm.
bad.
I think you were maybe scrubbing grout with a toothbrush or
I could have
something.
been.
What was happening?
I don't know.
Tell the people. Come on, it's fine. You can confess. What was going on back there? Were you like suddenly OCD?
Maybe. It could be. I can't deny it. It could be. Yeah. It all went bad with that back bathroom.
Yeah. So, but it looks great, by the way.
Thanks. I hope she likes it.
I think she does. I
Okay.
don't know. We'll see. So anyway, oh my goodness, this day. So now all of a sudden I'm sweating like a crackhead, right?
Yep.
Running back and forth, moving all this stuff. She's handing me like Rubbermaid bins worth of, it was just garbage. It was like stuff that should have been just tossed
I don't think so.
weeks before. No, I saw it because it ended up in the bedroom over here, and I had to climb over it. I had to climb over it the first night to get in
Nothing
bed.
got thrown away. Everything that came over to my brother's and
But
sister-in-law's
you
house that we
see-
needed.
But you see, that's the problem. Nothing got thrown away. Things needed to get thrown away. We still, after the pod, after all this stuff, we still have so many things we just need to throw away.
That's a different subject.
Okay, fine. So 5 minutes before the lady gets there, I walk back into the closet, and you would swear it was the Mojave Desert with all the tumbleweed floating around. There were hairballs everywhere from the dog. It could have been from the prior owners. I don't know. But like, I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure she can't walk into this. So naturally,
And he yelled, "Did you clean? Did you do the closet?" And I go,
oh my
No.
God, oh my God, oh my God. No, you got to hit it. You got to hit it with a broom.
But here's the thing. I was literally on my hands and knees. When I say my hands and knees, I'm not kidding. Like I was mopping the floor and then drying it and going over it on my hands and knees the entire house. So how I missed that closet was just truly an oversight because I was in that master bathroom for too long.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that I want to just bring up because we can talk about
You want to get off your chest?
we could talk about this all day and I don't want to linger on our epic fail. But the reason that we were so upset with ourselves, or okay, I'm just gonna talk about me.
No, we were upset. But when it was over, okay. Go on.
Go ahead.
Well, should we tell them like she arrived and all that stuff
Yeah,
first?
sure, go ahead.
And then we could talk about.
I think they know she arrived.
Let's talk about
Like,
let's finish talking about what happened, and then we can talk about our feelings about what happened afterward.
all I know is that Nancy watches our show. She watches our podcast on YouTube. And when she walked into our house, I don't think she recognized me. I'm pretty confident she had no idea who I was.
I mean,
Yeah. Because I didn't look like this.
now that you, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't
probably.
look like this. No. I had, yeah, it was a mess. I looked like a mess. I had like, it was the tube socks with the slippers,
Yeah.
with the shirt, with the pajama bottoms, with the hair in a bun,
You
and
were
everything
still in your
sticking out.
pajamas when she got there?
No, I changed it to jogging shorts.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had to jog. I had
'Cause
to
you were
run.
sweating?
I had to run from my brother's house, so I had to put on more comfortable clothes to allow me to do that. Yeah. And so when she looked at me, she didn't even know I was Denise. Had no clue who I was.
Yeah. So she walked in with her boyfriend, Artie, both very nice people.
Oh, really nice.
Really, really nice people. And I think Nancy did a quick little assessment that, the place wasn't totally ready for her. So she asked us kindly how much more time we would need. And she said, well, we have to go get groceries anyway. It was, I won't say it was awkward because she didn't make it awkward, but I felt awkward.
Oh, I felt like a loser.
Yeah.
Because we talk about what we expect from landlords all the time when we rent Airbnbs. Now, this is not a legitimate Airbnb. It was never listed on Airbnb. Nancy used to rent a house on the other side of my brother. So when that house was no longer available for 2023, she reached out to my sister-in-law and asked, hey, do you know somebody that might be renting their house in 2023? And that's how this all came about. But I'm referencing Airbnb because that's what we use when we travel quite a bit. So we expect certain things, and we've talked about it. In fact, we've done a whole episode about Airbnbs and what we like and what we don't like.
And we've gotten feedback from listeners, what it's like being on the other side.
Yeah. And so now we can say we know what it's like being on the other side of having a guest arrive and you not being prepared for them. We had a lot of things in our head that we wanted to make special for Nancy. And one of them was, whenever we've gone to an Airbnb and they have like food waiting for us, like whether it's a basket with fruit and chips or even bottled waters and like cold coffee bottle, cold, what is it? Brewed coffee. I mean, we've gone where they've had candies available. We wanted to do something really special for her.
Yeah.
So we literally went out to the grocery store
Days before.
and got like a charcuterie.
Charcuterie board.
Charcuterie, is it?
Charcuterie.
I think it's charcuterie. but
Charcuterie.
It's charcuterie, I'm sure. Any case, so we got salamis and prosciutto and cheeses, and James actually was in charge of this. Like he said, I'll take care of this. And he got her 2 really great bottles of wine. So we had a whole idea
Snacks,
of how we wanted it set up when she walked in. Like it was really important for us because we know as travelers how good it makes us feel when we rent an Airbnb and we walk in and there's a basket waiting for us. So we wanted to do something special for her. And what just sucked is that didn't happen. So it was disappointing for us because we had in our head the image that we wanted the house to, be. And we did have an idea of how we really wanted the house to look when she walked in. And that didn't happen either.
It was a bummer. But they went to the grocery store that gave us just enough time to like weep silently for a few minutes and then pull it together.
Yeah.
Finish the rest of what we had to do.
Yeah.
So when she showed up again, we were ready.
Oh, 100%.
And sweaty.
Uh-huh.
I was sweating like a pig. It was warm that day.
You were hot.
I had like a stream down my shirt from running back and forth.
You did.
I guess we just owe everyone an apology. We've ever left a lukewarm, except for the Roswell house.
Still stands.
Roswell still
stands. But everyone else, we're sorry. And all those people, all those times that we got really pissy when we couldn't check in earlier. And we're like, oh, what are they doing? Like, why didn't they?
I was just going to say, so when we got to Los Angeles, what happened when we went to check into our Airbnb?
Oh, they weren't ready for us.
Yeah. The guy came right to the gate and he was like, we need another hour. And everyone in the car got pissy. And I was like, no problem. We're going to go get some food and some coffee and we'll be back.
Maybe you knew this
My
was about to
karma.
happen. Maybe you knew
My karma saved us because
then 2 weeks later, we were in that same position.
And Nancy was cool. Thank you, Nancy.
Yes, she was great. And she even invited us over for drinks.
Which is a whole other thing. She invited us over to drinks.
Like 5 days later or 3 days later.
Now that all your shit's gone, can you guys want to come over and like maybe sip some wine?
Yeah. And she actually commented on our album collection.
Oh, yeah.
She said that
I think I missed that.
Yeah, she said that she had some friends over and she said that they were going through the album collection and they wanted to know how old we were because they said that there was quite a bit of difference in some of the albums. Like there was a Kiss album right next to Willie Nelson, and there was a Diana Ross
of me. Go on.
right next to Taylor Swift, and
we had Rihanna, we have Fleetwood Mac, all that,
and so Nancy was like, oh yeah, she's like they're a younger couple, but so she said they were admiring our record collection.
Oh, nice.
I know. But Nancy actually was so happy with the house, and even though we apologize, she wants to rent it next year.
We promise we're gonna thin out our belongings, and we'll be ready for.
The only thing is I don't want to have to take out all my clothes. Like, I'm just like, oh, so I already asked her. Like,
but I know, but that was the thing. It was like,
I asked her, can I leave it on the top shelf?
I spent an entire weekend building you those cabinets in the garage.
I just don't
and you didn't even want to move your stuff out there. And I'm like, why did we buy these?
Okay. Wasn't that I didn't want to. I couldn't. I ran out of time. It wasn't that I didn't want to. I ran out of time. Okay. So, and the one thing is like, we have said to my sister-in-law and brother, like, we've got this. We've said that on so many occasions with them. And we did have it. And on this one, we didn't. So that was really embarrassing because when we came over to their house, it was like, ugh, I now got to face my sister-in-law and brother. So let's talk about
like how your brother's house looked like Hiroshima after we said goodbye. Like, we're okay, Nancy, good night and enjoy your stay. And then we came back over here and it was like the work was not finished.
No, because what I was doing was taking garbage bags and just throwing everything from like bills and papers to bread in the same bag and just throwing stuff in. And I was taking the garbage bag. I would literally run, throw the bag in the kitchen of my brother's and then run back.
That's what this became, like garbage bags with stuff, people. Like
everywhere. Yeah.
We're 50 something, like garbage bags.
Yeah. That's what I had a garbage bag full of shoes.
Yeah.
Right next to a garbage bag.
There was a lady
full of clothes,
like in the middle of all of it. There was a lady who came to get her dog. No, there's a lady who came to get her dog because Vicky, our sister, is a dog sitter. Yeah. So we're lucky no dogs were harmed in this process. But we got here and there was a lady who came over to get her dog and she walked in and her eyes got big and her mouth like went agape and she was like, what happened here?
I know, because my sister-in-law keeps the house spotless, like I've said. And so I'm going to share with all the listeners and viewers, if you want to check out the Instagram, our Instagram, I'm going to show you photos and videos of what it looked like after we took over my sister-in-law's kitchen. But I'm laughing because there was another person that came by, my sister-in-law's friend, Christina, who all she wanted to do was see the house because she knew that we were getting the house prepared for the renter. All she wanted to do was see the house.
And all the work we put into it.
She did not even get a chance to see it because the minute she walked in, I just handed her a bin. I handed her a garbage bag. I said, here, take this to Vicky.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Poor Christina. She was going back and forth and never once and then she finally came back. She's like, is there anything else? Is there anything else? And I was like, I don't think so. You want to see the house now?
Yeah. So it's pretty safe to say we are the dipshit teenagers on our block.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think everyone recognizes that.
Yeah. So I guess, moving forward, it's just a badge we're going to have to wear.
Embarrassingly, though. Like, embarrassingly.
It was embarrassing.
Like, I was legitimately embarrassed in front of my brother, in front of my sister-in-law.
You were upset. So we can get into how you were feeling now.
Yeah.
You were upset.
I actually almost started crying in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I can't believe I failed. Because I really try not to fail at anything. I mean, I really don't. Like, if there's something I don't want to do, I'll just say I don't want to do it. Like right now, I don't want to go through these boxes that are at the side of my brother's house. And I've told everyone today, I'm not doing it. I don't care. That's one thing. But when I set out to do something, I don't think I've ever failed. Like, I don't know, maybe I have, but it hasn't been like, hasn't affected other people. And this fail affected the renter, affected my brother, affected my sister-in-law, affected you. So I was legitimately upset that like, I couldn't just like, I don't know. I still don't know what happened. I wish I could say, because I'm a pretty honest person. I wish I could say to you, yeah, I was watching Netflix and time got away from me, or I was on the phone with my friends and time got away from me. There's none of that because I wasn't doing that. I was working on the house the whole time. So I don't know what happened. I happened, but I don't know how I happened.
Well, I mean, fortunately, it all ended up well enough because, Nancy needed groceries and they were hungry anyway. So it would have been nice if they would have had their little platter to nibble on when they got there and then gone grocery. It's the worst when you go grocery shopping when you're hungry. Yeah. So I'm sure she spent an extra $60. I also felt like it was also a failure on my part. And I feel like, I feel like we swapped every single socket and receptacle in that house in the time between getting back from Christmas and Nancy's arrival. So, and I kind of underestimated how long each room would take. And I think that generally you and I are so like, we got this, like, whatever. And, we even told Ron and Vicky, like early on when, Vicky was kind of panicked one day and we're like, oh no, we got this. Like, and the house did look amazing. It just, we weren't out of it was the problem. We had our own stuff. Like we had all this stuff in heaps and it just like was not a great look considering everything we had poured into the house collectively, you and I, not just like me doing the work, but you like standing in front of every single room for months, a couple months, or thinking about like a dresser while you're walking the streets of Mexico City. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was a point of pride for us and for us to fail. And it was a failure on both of our parts. It wasn't just yours. But for us to fail, especially when we're doing a travel podcast, especially when we're like once in a while saying, hey, make sure you clean the coffee pot at your Airbnb, and like all these tips and all that other stuff, it just made me feel like I am bullshit. I am walking bullshit. So
did you clean the coffee pot?
I did clean the coffee pot. Yeah, I did. So important tip when you want to check and see how well your cleaning crew is cleaning your Airbnb, just look inside and make sure there's not a coffee filter with molding coffee sitting in there, because it's kind of like, to me, it's the real litmus test. If they're going to miss that, what else are they going to miss? So, our place was clean. It was like, really,
I was on my hands and knees cleaning the bathroom. I cleaned the tile over and over again. It was so clean.
It was just everything
when we were there.
It was cleaner for her than it was when we were there. There's no question. Sure. But it was just heaps and heaps of stuff right on the bar as soon as you walk in, that it was like, that's literally the first thing she saw. All this time I was worried because I really hate that chandelier. Like, I think it's so ugly because it's right at my eye level and it looks like some sort of like goth movie threw up. I didn't even see the chandelier in that moment.
Well, you know what? When we go back to the house, when we move back in, I'm going to pile heaps and heaps of stuff on the table so you don't see the chandelier.
About that stupid chandelier.
Yeah. So, so I don't know. I'd have to think about whether or not I want to be an Airbnb landlord. Like people have asked. So, okay, our March family that was coming in canceled. They had health issues. They're coming from Canada, so they canceled. And I actually had a sigh of relief. I mean, I'm not kidding. And I went to James and I said, what do you want to do? Because the truth is I can get another renter immediately because this is a really popular
still high
area.
Season, yeah.
Yeah. And people love coming here. I mean, you have to remember that when you rent a house, all of your activities are free. So, I mean, I think golf is $3 or $4 if you're a renter, but for residents, it's free. But your pickleball is free. Your tennis is free. Yoga, all of that. Like it's all free. So people love to come here during the winter time to enjoy the activities while
escape the snow. Yeah,
exactly. So our friends from Canada, these people that were renting had to cancel. So I said to James, what do you want to do? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I'm not sure. And I honestly just was like, I don't want to do this again. Like I just don't. And then I didn't have to because
They canceled.
because literally a day later, my brother called and said, hey, George, my other brother, wants to come for a visit. And I told him that the house might be available since the Canadians canceled for March. And now my brother's coming for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it made my life easy because, of course, I'm not charging my brother or anything like that. He's not renting the house. He's just staying because we're going to be in Mexico again. So it just all worked out. And I'm just so happy. And I don't know. When Nancy came.
We're not charging George anything?
No.
Why not?
Because he's my brother. I would never charge my brother.
I'm just kidding.
When we came for drinks at Nancy's house, she did
Which is our house.
Oh, yeah.
Which sounds absurd.
Yeah, our house. She did ask me about renting the house again because I said to her in my fluster, I don't think I'm ever doing this again. And so then she said, are you really not going to rent next year? And I said, I'll rent it to you, but I'm not renting it to anyone else. And really, I think that's what we're going to do. So she already asked for next year. And then she did say, which I thought this would be amazing if it worked out. She did say, she's like, I really don't ever want to leave. Like she said, I love your house and I love everything you've done with it. She's like, it's beautiful. She said,
except for those piles of shit that were here when you first got
but they're
here.
Gone now.
Yeah.
They're gone now. And she said, maybe when you're traveling, I can come and stay at the house. And I was like, that would be amazing. Like, I would love that because she's super respectful of the house. I mean, really just so happy to be there and very respectful. So, let me just say one thing. This is something that we talked about with Nancy, and this is something that I talked about with the Canadians, and this is something that James and I have not discussed yet. There is a true difference between renting a house that is a rental and renting a house that is someone's home. And we've done both, meaning as renters, we've rented homes from people that it was their primary residence, and we've rented rentals on Airbnb. The difference, the home is always better furnished, more cozy, has more charm, and feels like a home, which is what Airbnb was originally meant to be. But Airbnb now has just turned into shitty rentals that people are overpricing. So when Nancy came and when the Canadians were interested in the house, I did say to them, I know you're renting it, but this really is like our base camp for our travels. And it is going to be a retirement home for us. And so we're furnishing it as such, and we're treating it as our home because this isn't a rental property. Like in the sense of, like, we didn't get it as a rental. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We didn't order a bunch of stuff off of Wayfair and say, oh, that looks cool. That's good enough.
Yeah, it's like a $400 couch. We didn't do that.
We didn't approach it as this is good enough.
Not at all. We approached it as when we're here, whatever months that's going to be, whenever we drop in, we want it to feel like our home. And that was a discussion that he and I had. When we first came into the house, my sister-in-law and brother furnished the house beautifully. They bought furniture from us through like marketplace, garage sales, secondhand stores, because they knew it was going to be a rental property. And then when we were there for about a week or so, we did discuss, like, we love the furniture. It was kind of like Crate and Barrel style, really cute. But the couch like wasn't like long enough for him to lay on, and all the things that we like in a rental when we rent.
I'm not small. Go on.
Yeah. And so he had said just like, hey, do you think like we should make this feel more like our home and maybe get a bigger couch? And it just started with that. And it literally started with that. And then it was like, let's just make this our home because it's going to be our home when we're here. So even if we're traveling and we're, on the road and are only back in this house for a few weeks here and a few weeks there, it made sense for it to feel like our home. So,
well, okay. So let me jump in for a second. So, just, point of reference, it's like, okay, you think retirement community and it's all just like old ladies with like crochet, like tapestries on the wall or whatever. And sure, you can find that. But we went to a handful of houses, like neighbors, friends of Ron and Vicky, like each one had their own particular
style
flavor,
Yep.
And it wasn't like a bunch of, old lady houses,
No, not at all.
So, walking back into our house, it's kind of how it felt, every single day. And I was like, I don't know. I just think I'd be a little more into this place if it had our own personal like style in there. And like we had a chance, like, mind you, now we're like newly empty nesters. So we just boxed up all of the macaroni mosaics from 30 years, 20 years, whatever the hell the case.
The kids making arts
It's
crafts.
like,
Yep.
like we have an option here to not like,
To have a big person's house.
yeah, to like actually put a painting on the wall and nobody's going to mess with it, or like,
Get food on it.
yeah. So
It was like we could have an adult house. That's how I felt. Like we could literally, at one point, I started pulling photos out because, you know, our other home in Los Angeles it was very much a family home. And I started pulling photos out and he's like, no, put those away.
no.
He's like, I don't want to see any photos. I just want cool artwork. I want cool pieces up.
Yeah, I mean,
I want it
remember
to
when we
look
went to
like-
Roswell and we had the picture of Grandpa on the wall, like staring at us all night? It was like
Yeah.
nobody wants to see your family when they're renting it out. I'm sorry. Your family may be attractive. You love them. I'm sure you do. I love my family. But, you know, bottom line is nobody wants to see your kids or your granny or whoever on the walls when
I
they
know.
come to rent your place. They just don't.
Right. But you didn't either. Like, let's be honest. You didn't want to see anyone in the
I
family.
didn't.
You did not. You
No.
were like, I saw these I saw my daughters and all these framed photos for 25 years. Can we please make it like our house, like you and I together? And so that's kind of what we did.
Yeah.
And I felt good about it. But with that being said, it goes back to when you rent a home, that's a home. It is completely different than renting a rental. The couch is different. I mean, everything is different. Like Nancy has said, she said that couch. Well, that couch was expensive. I didn't get it from Wayfair for $500. I mean, she said she just everything. She's like, that bed. She's like, that bed is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But because
I mean, I'll say you said a little while ago that like, you know, Airbnb is just shitty stuff now. I think there's a lot more people renting Airbnbs and just making throwing the basics into these places. And I do think it takes a little more research to find a great place to stay
for
on
sure.
Airbnb. We had a handful of them on our way out here.
handful.
Yeah.
That's it.
Corpus Christi was one, Oklahoma City was one.
Yeah,
A
handful.
couple other places.
Yeah.
And then we
Not
had a
a
couple,
lot.
you know, Utah was great. Where
Oh,
we
yeah.
stay in
Mhm.
Utah is
Yeah.
very nice. And you found one in, Seattle way back when, or Gig Harbor
Oh, that was
in
incredible.
Washington. That was like,
That was a home though.
when you say, I know, but it was like, you know, so I don't know. All I'm saying is you can still find these things and we want to be among those places. Although I don't really agree with you that we are not going to rent it. We'll see. But I do agree with you that we're probably not going to list it on Airbnb.
Maybe. I
So-
mean, if I rent it, it's going to be to somebody that's a friend of somebody. People on Airbnb won't be respectful. It's a beautiful house. I just don't see people being respectful. So I have no interest of renting on Airbnb. I didn't furnish it as an Airbnb. I furnished it as my home. And that is what has changed about Airbnb. Airbnb, you used to be able to rent people's homes. I remember my friend Stacy had a beautiful little house in Austin, Texas, and she would rent it out for South by Southwest. She furnished it from top to bottom, like shabby chic,
Yeah.
expensive stuff. And I remember saying to her, oh my gosh, you're putting this on Airbnb. And she's like, yeah. And I go, well, aren't you afraid people are going to break like your beautiful crystal or stain your couch? And she goes, no, not really. She's like, and if they break my crystal or take it, she's like, I have more. I don't care. My point is that's what Airbnb used to be. You would rent out your house. Not like that anymore. So
No, it's like, it got good to a couple people and then they bought 2 or 3 more properties. And then they quickly realized, oh, let's throw up the thinnest drywall and the crappiest flooring and then put in
the shittiest furniture.
Yeah, with like a broken leg because somebody else stayed there, and now they just sort of
Yeah.
mended the leg on the. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. But I think it's I don't know. I think it's important to mention that we want to be. Is that the dog
Mm-hmm.
at the door?
Uh-huh.
What time is it?
It's 6.
Oh,
Okay. Do you want to go feed her?
yeah. I'm gonna go feed her. I lost my train of thought because I heard this moaning.
What do you think it was?
We'll be back after these messages. What's up, All-Stars? Do you have a hometown that you're madly in love with and think Denise and I should know a little more about it? Well, we'd love to hear your best pitch. Drop us a line at info@skiptownallstars.com or just drop us a post wherever you are already engaging with us on social media. If your entry gets read on the show, you're going to pick yourself up a nice, nifty little $25 Amazon gift card. So don't be stingy. Now that our renter is settled in, we are definitely back on the hunt for our future hometown. We appreciate you guys listening, and as always, if there's anything you'd like to hear more of on the show, feel free to drop us a line with that as well. Now, back to the show. Okay, we're back. The dog is eating.
So after this whole experience, I don't feel like I want to do an Airbnb, or if I do, then I want to definitely I would do it full time. It's not something I think that can be done properly part-time. What are your thoughts? Would you, and again, our place is not on Airbnb, but I'm explaining it as an Airbnb because we are renting it to somebody. Would you want to become a renter, a landlord?
I definitely want to become a landlord.
Like
yeah.
on this kind of short-term rentals?
I wouldn't want to do anything less than a week. So like if somebody
so you
wanted
want to do
come
short-term rentals. So you're fine.
I don't
with
really
it.
see that as short-term. Do you? Is that considered short-term?
Yeah, a long-term rental is
Well,
a
I don't
year,
want to do
a
weekends.
year. A long-term rental is a year.
Oh no, I'm not doing that. But
so you don't want long-term
not go
renters.
month. I do a month or a couple weeks or something like that. Maybe we set it at
I have
like
zero interest in doing that.
Really?
100%.
Well, we're going to be traveling anyway.
Yeah, I'm not going to deal with people while I'm gone. I mean, I would do a long-term renter, like somebody who wants to stay there for 6 months. But I don't know. No, this whole experience just like left me like feeling like, not something I want to do.
Oh, wow. I got to think about that because I was actually going to offer our listeners a Skip Town weekend getaway.
Yeah, so. I would do that. I would do that for somebody for sure. I'm just saying not as like a profession.
I got big plans for 2023.
People make Airbnb their profession. You know, it's like, that's what they do. They become managers of Airbnbs, or they are landlords of many Airbnbs. We've talked about this. It's just after this whole experience, it's not something I'm interested in doing. But yeah, a weekend for our listeners, absolutely.
A week. I mean, it'd have to be a week.
Oh, a week. You said weekend.
I know I did.
Oh,
but
yeah. No,
I'm rethinking that. It's just not enough time.
I would love to give a week to one of our listeners. Oh my gosh, as long as they'd be interested in coming here.
We'll soup up the golf cart and everything. You guys can.
We've talked about it so much.
I promise you guys will get up to at least 26 miles an hour.
All right, get
Pretty
it all
fast. Yeah,
get it all race car style.
Got to put some flames or shark teeth on the side. Go on.
But yeah. So anyway, so this experience left you how? Because I've been really clear on how it's left me. You want to keep going, which is insane.
Well, I mean, if while we're gone somewhere, like if it just helps us offset our travels by staying somewhere else, yeah. I just, we're at a point now where like, I don't want to make a killing off of that particular house, but I do like if somebody wants to come and it's, I guess the best scenario from what I'm hearing you say is if it were like a word of mouth situation where it's like Nancy's best friend all of a sudden wanted to come and then maybe like a small network of people that wanted to like be here 3 or 4 months out of the year. 5 months, whatever.
It has to be somebody who realizes they're renting a home and it's not a rental per se. That, we are going to be coming back, that we'll be here for a few months here and there. It's our home. And if somebody can be respectful, I'm open to it. That is hard. That is hard.
I don't know if it's as hard here because everybody's like of a certain age who wants to come here. Like everybody who wants to come here is older than we are. And they're kind of like no bullshit. They want to just show up, have some wine, do their golfing, go to the town square, get liquored up, and, come back and crash at the end of the night and wake up at 5 a.m. and do it all over again. So,
you know what? That's actually pretty true.
Yeah. I mean, the streets are desolate here at 9 p.m. at night. Like you and I are the only ones on a golf cart after a certain hour.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, okay, so that is a different clientele. So if I were to think about that, then maybe
we're not getting spring breakers here. We're getting snowbirds. So
who want to eventually live here too. So a lot of them are people who are checking out the area or just love it and have been here more than once. Okay, whatever. I'll think about it. I'm not so like opposed to it now.
Yeah.
I don't, whatever. I personally just don't like feeling like I didn't do well at something. So for me, this wasn't a venture that I felt like was an accomplished one. It was well received. Was it well received? I don't
think
know.
it was. Yeah, I do. I mean,
Okay, I'm sorry.
I think we're harder on ourselves
Nancy
just because
did take it. Nancy was well received. I guess
we
that's
got
not
lucky.
the right word.
We got lucky. If it was
We
somebody
did.
else,
It was well received. Okay, I take that back. It's
Yeah.
just it's a project I didn't complete
well, the only big if for me now at this point was, okay, so we were within 20 minutes basically of
45 because she went shopping for 45 minutes.
Okay, so we were within 45 minutes. We missed our deadline by 45 minutes. My only big question is, what if she was showing up on January 1st?
Oh yeah, we've been screwed.
Okay.
Yep.
We wouldn't have gotten done.
No, I think we would have. I think we would have just hightailed it and we would have been up very late every night and it would have, I think we may have still been running behind.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been done because we would never have had her show up and it not be done. I mean, we were an hour out from being done when she showed up. But I think the first, we would have probably had the same results. I have to say, I think we would have had the same. I don't have faith that we would have been any better. But next year will be better.
Next year will be better because all our stuff is already in the closet, in the garage. Just leave your stuff out there and get dressed in the garage like I do.
Okay.
That's all you need to do.
Okay.
As a father of 3 daughters, I'm quite accustomed to getting dressed in the shed.
So, so that was it for our experience of being a landlord on a short-term rental. And we'll let you know how it goes at the end of February. Hopefully she will say that her stay was a good one. So far, so good. It's only day 13 and she seems to be enjoying herself.
Yeah. But I did have to fix the tailpipe on the golf cart just an hour ago. So.
True. I think my cousin said to me not
Things can go sideways real fast.
I called my cousin and I was really upset and I called her and I said, "Oh my God, I'm a big loser." And then she was trying to make me feel better. And her kind words were, "I have to tell you, if I was renting a house and the landlords were next door, I would feel so good about that, knowing that if anything breaks, they're right there." And I was like, that doesn't make me feel better, Carol. That doesn't make me feel better. But yeah, Nancy did call and say that there was something going on with the golf cart, and James and Ron did go over there and fix it. So maybe I don't know. I don't know how she feels. Hopefully it's like, okay, she's happy. I don't know.
I think we're good. And the fact that we've been here an extra week, just sponging off your brother and sister have been great. Because like you said, we're right next door, and it's actually allowed us to go back and say to her, "Hey, Nancy, there are a couple things in the garage James needs," or "Hey, Nancy, I need this," or "Hey, Nancy, I need that."
I've only done
we
it
had
once.
to get our driver's license.
I've only done it once. I only called her one time and I said, "Hey, I left my social security card in the desk."
Oh my God. Everything we needed. I was like, "Hey, where's the ibuprofen?" Thinking in one of these 4 bins filled with stuff. No ibuprofen. Oh, it's locked in the hallway closet in the house.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go buy some. But anyway, so that was our experience of being landlords, and yeah, it wasn't great. So yeah,
we can do better. We'll do better.
Yep. Okay, so one thing that came up is during the interview with Leanne, I talked about being a personal assistant, and more than one person has mentioned they would love to have me do a show about what I did as a personal assistant working for 3 families in Beverly Hills. So James and I have talked about that, and I know other personal assistants, so that might be kind of fun to get them on a Zoom and we all chat about our stories. And I certainly have a lot that, I can share. I didn't have to sign NDAs, but I certainly
oh,
wouldn't.
You're promising the world now.
No, I'm going to say I certainly wouldn't divulge anything that I don't think they would mind me saying. I'm very good friends with one of the families I used to work with and talk to her literally.
Maybe we should get her on. Yeah.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
Yeah. So you're saying it's mostly anecdotal stuff.
Yes.
It's not going to be,
the questions that people always ask.
We're not going to give you the QuickBooks version of these families' lives.
No, there's no numbers being floated around. But it's the questions everyone always wants to know. What did you do? Like, what does a personal assistant do? Do you take care of the kids?
Yeah.
Do you write checks? Do you pick up like dry cleaning? Like, what do you do? So that I can definitely tell everyone what I did. and also go into stories of like exactly what I did. So I think that would be a fun episode to do. So I think we're going to do that.
Yeah, the people are asking for it. Give them what they want.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we've prattled on enough. We know we filled up your stockings over the holidays with 2-hour episodes. Bang, 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 bang. We're not going to do that today. We have a very special car episode coming next week. Hold on, my lord. You thought the rental situation went amok. Wait until you see what happened while we were trying to purchase a vehicle where we could actually take things on the road again. It was nuts.
Yeah, it really was. It was something we did not anticipate. So yeah, welcome to Car Buying 2023.
And with that, we are going to end this episode. You can take them out.
Empty nest, full tank.
Have a good week, guys.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.